In 2025, the Houston Texans are no longer the league's rebuilding project. They're one of its most efficient passing teams. And at the heart of that transformation is a player most fans still overlook. Nico Collins isn't the loudest, flashiest, or fastest receiver in the NFL, but through 4 seasons, he's quietly become one of the league's most efficient wideouts, ranking top 5 in yards per route run, ahead of names like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Devonta Smith. Last season, he finished with over 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns, despite missing 2 games. He caught nearly 70% of his targets, averaged more yards per target than Jamar Chase, and posted a higher EPA per play than any Texans receiver since DeAndre Hopkins. Yet somehow, he's still treated like a supporting piece. He's not a social media star, he's not a headline magnet. He's just consistent. Every week, every route, every catch. So how did a 3rd-round pick from Michigan turn into the Texans' silent weapon? To understand that, we have to go back.
Nico Collins was born on March 19, 1999 in Birmingham, Alabama, a region built on Friday Night Football. At Clay Chalkville High School, he wasn't the biggest name in the state, but his production was impossible to ignore. By his senior year, he had racked up 1,103 yards and 16 touchdowns, earning a 4-star recruit rating and offers from SEC powers like Alabama and Georgia. But Collins chose Michigan, a decision that said more about patience than fame. At Michigan, he joined a program known for its defense and ground game, not for developing NFL-caliber receivers. Still, Collins carved out his place. By 2018, as a sophomore, he led the team with 632 yards and 6 touchdowns, despite catching passes in an offense that ranked outside the top 80 in passing efficiency. In 2019, he followed that with 729 yards and 7 scores, leading the Wolverines in yards per catch at an explosive 19.7. Then came 2020. COVID-19 hit, the Big Ten season was shortened, and Collins made a difficult decision, opting out to prepare for the NFL draft. It was the right choice for his health, but it cost him exposure. By the time scouts revisited his tape, Collins hadn't played a down in over a year. He ran a 4.4340 at his pro day, measured 6'4", 215 pounds, and tested like a top-tier athlete. But with a missing season and low target volume, teams hesitated. In the 2021 NFL Draft, Nico Collins fell to the 3rd round, pick number 89 to the Houston Texans. No one could have known it then, but that quiet selection would become one of the most important draft steals in franchise history.
When the Houston Texans selected Nico Collins with the 89th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the franchise was in freefall. Deshaun Watson had requested a trade, the roster was gutted, and first-year head coach David Culley was inheriting a team without direction, or a quarterback. Collins entered the league as a 6'4" receiver with size and athleticism, but little experience in high-volume offenses. His rookie season reflected the chaos around him. Davis Mills, a 3rd-round rookie quarterback himself, started 11 games. Houston ranked 32nd in total offense, last in rushing, and 28th in scoring. Still, Collins flashed potential. 33 receptions, 446 yards, and a touchdown. Not groundbreaking, but enough to show that in the right system, he could produce. The 2022 season brought a new coach, Lovie Smith, but the same instability. Collins began to refine his route running and timing, but he battled a groin injury that cost him the final month of the season. He finished with 481 yards on 37 catches. Again, steady, but overlooked. By the end of 2022, Houston had gone 3-13-1. They fired their 2nd head coach in as many years, and the offense once again ranked near the bottom of every advanced metric. From the outside, it looked like Collins was just another mid-round receiver. productive in garbage time, but replaceable. Inside the building, though, coaches saw something else. He was consistently open, even when the ball never came his way. His separation numbers quietly climbed into the league's top third. He wasn't explosive after the catch, but his ability to win clean, on time, and in structure stood out. That was the foundation the Texans didn't realize they were building. Because when the 2023 offseason arrived, Houston would draft a new quarterback, hire a new offensive coordinator, and finally give Nico Collins a system and a signal caller built for precision. And that changed everything.
The 2023 Houston Texans were supposed to be another rebuilding team. Young quarterback, rookie head coach, new system. But something clicked faster than anyone expected. When the Texans drafted Stroud with the number 2 overall pick and hired Bobby Slowik as offensive coordinator, the offense gained something it hadn't had in years: rhythm. Slowik's system, built from Kyle Shanahan's tree, emphasized precision timing, layered concepts, and trust between quarterback and receiver, and that philosophy fit Nico Collins perfectly. From week 1, it was obvious. Stroud looked to Collins early and often, and the chemistry felt effortless. Against the Colts in week 2, Collins exploded for 146 yards and a touchdown on just 7 catches. By week 4, he led the AFC in yards per route run. He wasn't just producing, he was dominating efficiently. Over the season, Collins caught 80 passes for 1,297 yards and 8 touchdowns, despite missing 2 games with a calf strain. He averaged 16.2 yards per catch, the highest among receivers with at least 80 receptions. His catch rate, 68%. His EPA per target ranked top 3 in the league. Next-gen stats charted him with 3.12 yards per route run, higher than Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase. But beyond the numbers, what made Collins special was how he and Stroud operated. Their connection wasn't about improvisation, it was trust. Slowik's system demanded timing throws into tight windows, and Collins became Stroud's safety net on intermediate routes, winning clean off the line and boxing out defenders with surgical precision. When Stroud faced pressure, his first instinct wasn't to scramble, it was to find number 12 on a dig, a slant, or a cross. And as the Texans surged from 3-13-1 to 10-7 and a playoff berth, Collins became their quiet constant. He didn't do flashy celebrations or chase headlines. He just produced first downs, chunk plays, calm execution. By the end of 2023, analysts started to take notice. ESPN called him a top 10 receiver hiding in plain sight. Pro Football Focus graded him as Houston's highest-rated offensive player. For Nico Collins, it wasn't a breakout built on luck. It was the result of 3 years of silent work, finally meeting the right quarterback, the right coach, and the right system. By the start of the 2024 season, Nico Collins had done everything right. He'd produced at a top 10 level, helped turn a rookie quarterback into a rising star, and anchored one of the most improved offenses in football. But outside Houston, his name barely moved the needle. Most of the attention went to C.J. Stroud, rightfully so, and to Tank Dell, the electric slot receiver who became a social media highlight machine. Dell's agility and quickness made him the perfect viral contrast to Collins' quiet precision. When Dell returned from injury in 2024, the national spotlight went with him. Meanwhile, Collins just kept stacking numbers. He finished the 2024 regular season with another 1,100-plus yards and 7 touchdowns, again ranking top 10 in yards per route run. Against man coverage, he posted a 71% success rate, one of the best in football. He wasn't just productive, he was efficient to the point of surgical. And yet, no Pro Bowl nod, no top 100 players feature, no national recognition. Part of it was perception. Houston wasn't a legacy market. Collins didn't talk much, didn't self-promote, and didn't fit the mold of a modern NFL star. He didn't have a signature dance or a camera-ready personality, just clean routes and quiet dominance. Analysts began to notice what the numbers had already said. Robert Mays of The Athletic called him the most overlooked wide receiver in football. Next Gen Stats labeled him a model of route efficiency. Still, for every metric proving his worth, there was a narrative gap that kept him invisible to casual fans. In a league built on flash, Nico Collins became a study in control, proof that not every great player needs volume to be valuable. His consistency became his identity, his reliability, his brand. And as the Texans evolved into one of the AFC's most complete offenses, Collins stayed the same, unshakable, unbothered, the quiet force making everything else look effortless.
By 2025, the Houston Texans aren't a surprise anymore. They're a problem. Stroud is an MVP candidate, Bobby Slowik is being mentioned for head coaching jobs, and Houston's offense ranks top 5 in total efficiency. But when you look beneath the surface, one constant remains: Nico Collins. In an offense full of motion, layered reads, and young talent, Collins is the stabilizer, the player who allows everything to function. On film, his precision gives Stroud a safety valve in timing windows that most receivers can't hit. Statistically, his impact is measurable. He leads the team in first down receptions, converts over 65% of his third down targets, and ranks among the league's top 5 in yards per route run for the second straight season. His contested catch rate, once a question mark in college, now sits above 60%. More than numbers, though, Collins reshaped what the Texans' offense looks like. He gave Stroud a perimeter target who doesn't need schemed space, someone who wins on structure, not chaos. That allows Slowik's offense to stay efficient, rhythmic, and balanced, even when defenses adjust. And in that way, Collins represents something larger than himself. He's not redefining the wide receiver position, he's redefining what value means within it. He's proof that efficiency can be dominance, and that control can be just as dangerous as explosion. For the first time since the DeAndre Hopkins era, the Texans have a wideout who dictates coverage, but this time he does it without saying a word.
Nico Collins never chased headlines. He never needed to. From a third-round pick out of Michigan to one of the NFL's most efficient wideouts, his rise wasn't loud, it was steady. Every year he added something new: sharper routes, deeper timing, more trust with his quarterback. And by 2025, he didn't just fit Houston's offense, he defined it. In 4 seasons, Collins has averaged more yards per route run than any receiver in Texans history and ranks among the league's top 10 in first down rate. He's not a superstar by volume, he's a superstar by precision. He doesn't talk much, he just gets open. He just produces. He just wins. And sometimes that's all greatness really sounds like: quiet.